County Sheriff Aaron Hansen says the county would benefit from a detention agreement with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Jacqueline Fernandez joins me live from the Alert Desk with the new details. Jacqueline.
Hey, David. In an open letter to leaders of the Douglas County Board, Sheriff Hansen mentions the June raid at Glen Valley Foods, where dozens of workers were detained and sent to an ICE contracted facility in North Platte that's more than 250 miles away. So Hansen says if there was a similar facility here, detainees could stay closer to loved ones and have better access to legal representation while reducing the need to travel hours for court proceedings. The sheriff said the Douglas County Jail is at a historically low capacity, and allotting beds for ICE detainees could bring in additional revenue for the county. He said the money could help fill the gap from recent budget cuts and create opportunities for further investment in public safety. Hansen acknowledged that not everyone is on board with his proposal. He says he spoke with the League of United Latin American Citizens, better known as LULAC. According to Hansen, the group has made it clear it does not support any contractual agreement between Douglas County and ICE. The group says its role is not to facilitate detention, but to ensure when people are detained, their rights and dignity are protected. In his letter to the county board leaders, the sheriff said if the county does enter into a detention agreement with ICE, some of the revenue could be reinvested back into the immigrant community. Dave.
Jacqueline Fernandez live in studio. Jacqueline, thank you.